This has got to be one of my favorite episodes of Dragon Ball Super, and I mean, I gotta say this is probably one of my favorite episodes in Dragon Ball Z, its entirety. The big reasons because I had low expectations for this episode. Goku got knocked out, and then we had Piccolo stepping into the ring. I really wasn't expecting too much out of Piccolo. I also looked down on Frost because in my eyes, Goku kicked Frost's ass. Yes, Goku lost in the end, but I honestly felt like Frost from the very beginning used some cheap tactics to get Goku out of the ring, and we find out in this episode that he did. And I don't know if it's just me, but Frost's innocent act never really appealed to me, because when I see Frost, I really see Frieza, and Frieza's a fucking asshole. I don't care if this guy's from a different universe. Those two have literally the same identical appearance, and if Frieza's an asshole, like if you look at this guy wrong, he's gonna want to kill you, well, Frost can't be this guy saving countries, saving planets, you know, stopping war, bringing peace throughout the lands, winning prizes. Like, there's just no fucking way. It just doesn't fit. Like, if you wanted to give Hit that personality and Hit still looks like an asshole himself, it would have been more understandable. Frost, he literally looks like a carbon copy of fucking Frieza. And come to find out this week, he was never really about peace. He was always about violence. He was just smarter about how he utilized violence. He, you know, destroyed countries, and then because he destroyed those countries, he kind of claimed them. So yeah, he did save those countries, but what's the worth of saving a country if you literally destroyed it? Like, if you destroyed something and you save what you destroyed, you're like a pile of shit. You're a fucking cunt, and that's what Frost should have been from the very fucking get-go. In fact, his innocent act kind of shows us that he's more intelligent than Frieza. He's willing to go the extra mile to manipulate people to get the most out of the situation, unlike Frieza, who's just an asshole from the start. And we find out the severity of his cuntish ways when he works together with Kaba to save a planet. Remember, Kaba and the Saiyan race in this universe is hired to take out evil, and he worked together with Frost to take out evil. The only thing is that Frost actually created the evil. He just hired some, like, underground people to fuck things up, and then he came in to, you know, claim the place, and now everybody loves him. You know, he's the hero. He gets to buy this land out for cheap because it was degenerated. So this guy is even more of a fucking cunt than Frieza, and I love it because that's what he should have been from the very start. He had this innocent act with Goku. He was getting beaten up by Goku fist after fist after fist. He didn't really want to hurt Goku. He was playing very fair. He was just being somebody that somebody like him should not be ever, ever, ever. And that's what I love about this week's episode. It was real. Frost got rid of the innocent guy act, and Piccolo exceeded expectations in this fight. He gave us a really strategic mess of a battle, and yes, he did lose in the end, even though I don't really see it as a real loss because Piccolo actually won, but he forfeited it. And even if you consider it like a fight between those two, at the end of the day, Frost used cheap tactics. It's not like Frost, you know, overpowered Piccolo and Piccolo just, he couldn't fight at all. No, Piccolo actually had this guy on the edge. He was getting beaten around. He was on the defensive the entire time. He was dodging all of Frost's beams. He wasn't landing any attacks. He was just charging up. He even took an injury to deceive Frost. But you gotta put work in for those results, and Piccolo put in work and he got some results. He constricted Frost. Frost wasn't able to get out. It wasn't about Frost overpowering him and freeing himself. It was about Piccolo being poisoned, and he wasn't able to keep a hold on Frost any longer. So yeah, Piccolo had Frost in his grips. He was charging that beam up. That shit would have finished him off. Frost even admitted it. Though in the end, despite the fact that Goku and Piccolo should have won their respective fights against this guy, they lost because this guy is a cheap fuck, and Jacko the Patrolman actually saved us some losses, even though Piccolo technically forfeited because of Vegeta. Fuck you, Vegeta. Like, I love you. I want to see you fight. You're probably going to be more entertaining than Piccolo, let's be honest here, but you don't have to give your team a loss because you're greedy as shit and you want to fight really badly and you want to kick this guy's ass. Like, Piccolo technically won. He was cheated by Frost. Frost modified himself. Jacko the Patrolman caught this motherfucker right in his tracks. The referee, he obviously gave the guy the loss, and a loss for Champa's team is a win for our team. And what did Vegeta do? He told Piccolo, forfeit because I want to fucking fight and kick this guy's ass. It's a poor way of handling things because we already lost Boo. Boo fell fucking asleep, and then Goku should have won his fight against Frost, but he was cheated. Piccolo technically won his fight against Frost, and in the end, the referee actually suspended Frost from this fight, so we have a win, but then Vegeta told him to forfeit, so it's just a poor way of handling things. But in the end, that's what I fucking loved about this episode so much, because I had low expectations of this episode, especially Piccolo, and he completely fucking surprised me. He gave us a very entertaining fight. Frost really entertained me because he threw away his innocent guy act and he stuck to his fucking roots, being an evil, traitorous fuck who extorts other people's money and lands for self-gain. And this is a point I drifted off on, but I feel like Champa doesn't deserve a good trainer like Whis. Obviously, Champa has Vados, and Vados is inferior to Whis. This episode screams that out to me. Technically, Champa wanted a win, and she followed through with those orders by bringing Frost onto the team, but in this week's episode, we see that Frost can't be trusted. He's all on his fucking own, and the fact that Vados never informed Champa that this guy isn't good, that the guy doesn't really care about the team, and he doesn't really care about winning all that much, in a way, it tells me that Whis cares about Beerus's well-being a lot more than Vados cares about Champa's well-being, even though Vados got Champa on a fucking regimen, you know, on a fucking diet. There's more honesty in the relationship between Beerus and Whis. Whis holds Beerus back. Whis even does things that'll help Beerus in the long run, even though he does not like it. And I don't know, I feel like Champa doesn't deserve a good trainer like Whis, because he's just an ignorant, loud-mouthed fool. Like, you want to kill the referee and Jacko the patrolman because they noticed something off about your candidate? That's fucking ridiculous, bro. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're already cheap as fuck with this entire tournament. You've already been a slimy cunt. And as a whole, this episode shows me we are superior to the Universe 6 team. We got Goku, we got Piccolo, who really proved himself this week with all of those strategies, concealing his ki, doing some really awesome fucking combinations. And this is why I love Dragon Ball so much. You know, people tell me this is a simple show, it's boring. Like, this formula works, it's entertaining as fuck, and even in the middle of all of these serious battles, I died laughing. You had Jacko the patrolman noticing something off about Frost, and then Goku's like, that's not Frost, that's not the kind of guy he is. Like, fucking ignorant ass Goku, I love you, bro, but you're so stupid. And Vegeta just pushed him off to the side, and he told Jacko to follow up with the investigation. Like, listen, if this could give us a win in the end, yeah, come on, fucking expose this guy, even though Vegeta was responsible for giving us a loss, technically. And while Champa was being a cunt this week, Beerus also made me shake my fucking head. Like, Jacko's here, try to give your team a win, right? He noticed something off about Frost, he's gonna expose him, and Champa's threatening to kill Jacko the patrolman, keep in mind. Like, so this doesn't make Jacko the patrolman's investigation easier. In fact, it makes him less motivated to actually do the investigation. And here you have fucking Beerus like, no, Jacko, continue the investigation. After all, I don't care if you fucking die or not. Just continue and maybe you'll give us a win. But if you don't, then you'll die and that'll suck. Ugh, Beerus, like, if you didn't have your God of Destruction powers, you'd be right there with Goku, man. I'm telling you, you'd be right there with Goku on the spectrum.